By the way, it's also a red flag if someone is extremely unjealous. If there is such a word.
Pearl Radio, the home of fresh and classic hits.
My name is Ann Muitirir.
Yep.
I'm born again. I love the Lord. I'm also married, so I love a man. I also have 3 children who I love very much. I'm also very, very passionate about matters relationship and marriage, especially just restoring to it the glory that was meant to be. That is why we as a family, my husband and I, we are called the Riri family. Those who speak French know Riri means glory. Riri.
The Riris of Jehovah.
Yes, the Riris. Yeah, the Riri of marriage should come back. Yes?
Yes.
Yeah, and I'm also a co-founder and CEO of an organization called SHISPAC that is keen on helping women find fulfillment in marriage and in other areas of their lives and in all seasons of their lives. I am a happy wife myself.
Wow, amazing. I love that. Yeah. Anyways, so let us start even with our conversation tonight. We're talking about red flags, on how to know he or she is not the one. So let's even start from that particular point. When you're saying red flags, what is really, kuna mtu asema mimi sijui nasikia watu kusema tu red flags. So what is this red flag?
If you don't know about red flags, it's okay. Don't worry about the terminology.
Yeah.
These things we come to say here with big English will make you scared. Leave big English alone. What we are trying to say is, what is this that you see in someone and you know, where? Morife? Run. That's all we are trying to say. So red flag generally is that idea of what is this that you know is danger. It's a moriferant situation.
Yes.
There is no turning back. That's what we mean by red flags. They will generally be the opposite of what we talked about last time,
yes,
but only now that we will focus on the moriferant. If you see this, run. Last time we were focusing on if you see this might be it.
Yes.
You need to check better. But now we are focusing on then what will you see that you know hapa? There is not only no hope.
Yes.
You need to run. And emotional entanglement is interesting. The moment your heart is in it can be hard to disentangle.
Yeah.
And so that's why when we talk of red flags, you have to be really aware. You have to have it in your mind. Sometimes naivety does not work. The naivety of you get in there and you do not have these very firm stands of your own that if someone does this, if I see this in someone, it's a no. If you don't have those things, then you go in and your heart is there and the chemistry. Remember the chemistry we were talking about?
Yeah.
The chemistry is chemistrying. The heart is booming. It is beating do together with his or hers. Then you will not be able to disentangle.
True.
But if you have it in your mind and you know for sure, for me, this is a red flag, then it will be easy to control your heart with your mind. Yeah.
Wow. That is very, very profound. Now, let us now address even from, because we have said from the he's and the she's. Let's start with the boy. Wanasemanga? Ni ladies first.
Yeah, but men before. Men even before.
So let's us look today with the men. It is very important for us also to address this because the men are supposed to be the head of the family. So it is very important for you to notice some of these red flags so that we do not actually make the mistakes even in marriage. This is one of the things that I don't like to rehearse. For me, I don't like to rehearse marriage. Like wacha niingie ikikosa kuwork nitoke. No. And some of the things actually, because when I talk about red flags, even in men, is that some things might not really show up. And it is very, very important for us to understand there's some signs that God can show you, but some things will manifest as you get married because people can pretend during the period of dating.
It's true.
So let us talk about the men. So what are these red flags you can see, especially from, born again Christian men even. But even let us start even from men in general. So what are these red flags that as a lady you should watch out for and say that, this one is not for me?
Now, one of them is, let me just start with a very common one.
Yeah.
The mama's boy.
Umeanza na ubaya.
I know. Mimi hata sikuwa nimepanga kuanza hapo. I had not planned to start.
Sasa tutakimbilia wapi surely? Hey.
I had not planned to start there. But the Lord has it that we do not be shy.
Money has been poured.
To talk the truth. To spoil mothers and relationships. It is your own problem.
Yeah.
It is your own.
You know the way we love our mothers.
I know.
Yeah.
I know. And we love your mothers too. But we don't want to feel like you're still stuck to your mother and you have the option of going back to her.
Yes.
She's a woman like me, you know? And she already has the advantage of having had you for how many years? And then you already have quite a bond. Then there's the blood that we cannot deny.
Yes.
So your mother has so much advantage over me that you need to work towards making me feel like now you are mine. You have your mother. You will remain your mother's son. That will never change. But you become my companion and not your mother's companion.
Yes.
The Bible says, and we have said this before again and again, that and so a man shall live. You know, interestingly, and this came out in our premaritals, that was over 10 years ago. It's interesting how we as Africans have been doing the other way around, even after we got born again. The example of living is actually said on the man. Like the living is placed on the man. Biblically, if we were to argue about not living, it is the women who would have a way. We would easily say as we were not told to live. But the Bible is categorically, a man shall live his father and mother, and the two shall become one. You get?
Yes.
So if we wanted, it's only that we love you people very much. But if we wanted an excuse, we would say, where does the Bible say me I live? You know? But then the Bible is very categorical about men. So I'm not saying that women should not live, because the idea is to become one. And if one lives and the other does not live, then you're compromising the joint the joint account to Kombele. Yeah?
Yes.
But it's interesting how, as Africans, what have we been doing? Quite the opposite. The man does not live. In fact, he stays and then he pulls the woman there. So that's why you go and build Ushago Kwenu and then you bring your wife there.
And then you come back to Nairobi.
Yes.
That's your wife Ushago.
Exactly. Like you were supposed to leave your father and mother. Instead, you bring your wife and make her stick to your mother and father. You know, it's very interesting. But then again, the living and cleaving aspect, that one is very, very clear.
Yeah.
If you are supposed to live even physically, how much more everything else? So there needs to be that line. So for a man, now practically speaking, even if we were to put the theology away, and even if we were to not preach, Israel, the mama's boy, is detrimental to the marriage. Show me one that has a good marriage. I don't know. I have not seen any. Because I have seen lots and lots and lots of examples of marriages that have suffered because the man has clung to the mother like nobody's business.
Yes.
So the mother knows everything. If it is conflicts, the mother knows. If it is where he lives, before he moves, he does not tell his wife, he tells his mother first. He's consulting with his mother over everything. His mother starts to control his relationship, you know,
also marriage.
And his marriage. And it is not good. Like, you know, sorry to say this way, but it's true. In this case, the mother is an intruder.
True.
She has done her work as a mother. She needs to stick to her place as a mother. She's no longer the companion. She's no longer one with this person. Honestly, biblically, you are one with your wife.
Yeah.
Why would any matter, why would your mother precede your wife over anything? You know? And I believe once there is that respect, again, what I have seen happen is where there is that respect and a woman feels loved and she does not feel like she's in competition with the mother-in-law, my guy, she will love your mother. And when you need that help, you know those times when your mother is sick, and your wife is in school, and she has a fee balance, but you need to pay your mother's hospital bill. Because your wife has never felt the need to compete with your mother, she will easily bow.
True.
She will easily submit. She will easily sacrifice and say, no, we need to do this for mom. But if she has always felt in competition with your mother, it will be very easy because she'll just continue to compete. So the mama's boy yani I don't even know how to explain that. And unfortunately, most of the marriages that I have met that have been in that situation, the woman will eventually admit the signs were there.
Yeah.
The red flags. And you ignored them.
You know, actually, when you go through the proper introduction and your guys taking you to the mom, anakuambia mom, ndio huyu nimepata. There's some things you should note as a lady, so that at least usiende pale sema ati I love the way that this guy loves her mom. Of course it's good to love your mom, but like you mentioned, there is that limit. There is that gap ukiona, hey, this is too much. Like everything, let me call mom.
Exactly.
You know, maybe you're playing saying, let me call mom.
Yeah.
So that is a mama's boy. And it is very important.
Yes.
Because we mentioned the aspect of living and cleaving. But who bado ame cleave pale kwa mom.
Now how is he living? How will he cleave elsewhere? And he's already cleaved here. Whatever, you know.
Okay, so mama's boy. If you're a mama's boy.
But if you're a mama's boy, you're not ready for marriage.
Yeah.
And sorry to say, you listen and you like, maybe you should just have married your mother.
There is this aspect of a red flag of a character or a behavior of a guy. So maybe this guy is controlling. So is this a red flag?
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. If someone wants to constantly like be in charge of your life too much, and you're only in a relationship, you're not even married, that's a red flag.
Yes.
That's somebody who's probably extremely insecure. It might not be your fault what causes them to be in that situation. Sometimes it's a personality issue. Sometimes it's just people have not dealt with things the right way. Some people are really ignorant, and so they are just, they think, now that you're my girlfriend, I should know where you are. I should have a stake in who you hang out with, and then it goes overboard. But then again, it's not your work to take care of that.
Yeah.
Especially at the stage of the relationship, you're not bound together yet. So some of these things, you don't have to burden yourself too much with them. Even you have growing to do. You have things to deal with, a lot of baggage to deal with. If their baggage or their immaturity or their personality manenos are causing that kind of conflict in the relationship, it's worth it to give it time. It's worth it to say, you know what, I don't think we are ready for this, because you're constantly starting to feel you can't breathe. There's all those people that are so on you can't breathe.
Yes.
Who did you go out with? No, don't go out with those friends. I don't like that friend of yours. I don't like your... And now when they get to the place where they even want to literally they want to control you into cutting off your close people,
yes, then
now that is very, very dangerous. I'm not extremely keen on the narcissistic manenos, because I think, again, they've been overdone, and now we started accusing everyone of being a narcissist. But then there are those real narcissists who you can see the signs. Somebody who does not want people around you, it's because they really want to gain control over you. So they want you to kosana with everyone. If it's your parent, they are always... Okay, so closely related to that is... they find nothing good about everyone else that is around you. Yeah. That friend of yours, that your mom is doing wrong to you. Your dad is doing wrong to you. Your friend, she's not good. She's advising you wrongly. Kwani you be the righteous one now or nothing? I beg, you are the only good person in this world that I can have. All my life I have been surrounded by bad people. The Lord is finally saving me by giving me you. Ebu, just ask yourself, Israel.
Yeah.
Kwani he's the only righteous man in the world? No. Everybody else cannot be the problem. He is the problem. So somebody who attempts to control you, somebody who attempts to cut you off from your close relations, that's a red flag. Murife,
run. Don't compromise. Don't say that he will change. I'm going to pray for him. I think it's just he loves me. He's jealous. You know.
There is a healthy jealousy. By the way, it's also a red flag if someone is extremely unjealous. If there is such a word. Like if someone really does not care, then that one also, you need to ask yourself why. Because I think there needs to be a level of wanting you that does not allow them to not care who else is interested in you. Or that maybe you're giving yourself to other people. I know nowadays there's a lot of narratives around free living.
Yes.
And again, this free living is now going to the extent of, so you're trying to be modern by not caring about, you're trying to not be controlling. Actually, you have to find a balance. We are not saying be controlling, but then again, it's a romantic relationship.
Yeah.
I mean, that's why you're my boyfriend and the others are not my boyfriends.
True.
They are just friends. So there's a way you can see me hugging someone and you be like, and it's good. It's also a show of confidence.
True.
In someone when they are confident enough to tell you, I feel uncomfortable when you hug guys like in this way.
Yes.
I feel like we are not being exclusive with what we share, and that's not a problem. Is it said with respect? Yes. Are you open to hearing exactly where they're coming from? Then you'll realize, they're not being controlling, they're actually just expressing themselves.
Yes.
And it's a good thing it feels that way, because then he's not putting you over there as you're not just something else. You're that special to them.
And now that you've talked about someone being jealous, now there is this aspect of lack of trust.
So lack of trust also goes both ways. There's a lack of trust. The source of lack of trust, let's just describe it as insecurity. Yes. So it's not necessarily they don't trust you. It's also they feel extremely insecure, because how do they not trust you with anyone?
Yes.
They don't. There's a certain confidence that they lack, and it also could be an issue of esteem. Sorry to go that way, but it's a reality that you see that thing of you don't believe in yourself enough, and so you win this girl, but you are constantly thinking that somebody else will woo her. And she will accept.
Yes.
So you don't believe in yourself enough. You don't feel confident that she can actually love you and you only. So whenever you hear she's with the worship team, you start to think, ule jama anapiganga guitar, oh my God, she will fall for that guy.
Yeah.
You think about, so you see the issue is not her.
Yeah.
The issue is you. Because that means, first of all, you have already compared yourself with the other men around her.
True.
So, and you are already seeing yourself as inferior. So you don't trust that you have I was about to use a very not so good word, but that you have the strength, the power, you have what it takes to keep her away from other men without necessarily controlling her. And so you keep on, it starts to translate as insecurity. And then now for her, it will be a red flag that you don't trust her. Get?
Yes.
On the flip side, if your partner is not trustworthy, it's a red sign. Let me tie this up with another red flag I had written down. The serial liar. Here? And this goes both ways. It's not the man or the woman alone.
Yeah.
But you see that guy who... me kwanza I lies. You see those lies of I'm 5 minutes away. No, jatoka kwa bafu.
But most of us are guilty of that. Because you don't want to disappoint. Maybe probably you have scheduled a date and it's supposed to be at 3.
I will feel very disappointed if you knew you were going to come 15 minutes late, but ulinibeba ufala, you made me sit there thinking that in 5 minutes you'll be there. You're trying to keep my hopes up like those of a child. I'm coming. No. I feel like you have a level of disrespect for me. I would rather you get late. I would rather you really just tell me, enyewe, I have not left the bathroom. Ndo nijue whether it is I will order and be eating if I was hungry, whether I will go do something else and then catch up, whether I need to cancel that because I probably had another meeting in an hour's time, and now if we are late, 30 minutes late, I won't be able to catch the other meeting. I feel like then you respect the fact that I actually had my time planned for you.
Yes.
At least you have that respect. Lack of timekeeping, yes, has a level of disrespect for my time, but it also is understandable as we women, of course, we need a lot of understanding in that sector, and you know that. But then again, honesty sasa hiyo. You are refusing to understand.
Me, there's no I can wait for someone to prepare for 2 hours. It's just makeup. No. What if it's a very important meeting that we are supposed to go together?
Yeah, it is very important, that meeting. In fact, I will wake up very early because that meeting is very important.
But very well you're not going to wake up early.
No, even I will wake up early. But you see, when I wake up, I will realize that unfolded laundry, I don't want to leave it there. So I will decide, let me kunja this laundry. Haraka. But you see, I was doing good things. Yeah. That's why we get late.
And I think this is a conversation that we need to have, because timekeeping with, especially with the ladies, mnapanga too, you want to get out at this particular moment. Anyways, that's a conversation for another day. Getting back to what you were saying. You know?
So the serial liar. Sometimes those small lies just communicate that someone is comfortable lying.
Yeah.
The fact that it doesn't bother them when they lie to you, it just means they are not bothered by lying. So it might be a small lie today, it might be many small lies, but then that tells you that the day he will need to lie big, he won't flinch. He will be able to. Yeah,
but let me just pause this, because don't you think even when men, they are shooting their shots, most of the times they lie.
Like,
atinita, from where I'm coming from, tuko na shamba ya mandazi. Tunachuna. During the period of dating, men can lie so that they may be able to woo and even to win a lady. So these are tactics that men use, because they know very well, if I tell you the truth that, hey, nimesota, I'm broke, I don't have this, you'll be disappointed. So they feel like, by not even lying, they just don't tell you the truth.
Or they withhold information.
Yes. So they just want to, they don't want to disappoint you. So sometimes they will keep some few stuff, and because they want to win you over. Now, in this particular aspect, is it okay?
I don't think the Bible considers that. You do not lie unless you are determined to woo a lady. Sijaonanga your verse. And as Christians, we need to stop normalizing lying. It's the same we normalize bribing. True. And we say you will spend another 3 days in court and so on. Just give the police what he needs to get.
Yes.
No. If you really trust in God, do what he does. He doesn't really contradict himself. Do what he says, he will sort you out.
Yes.
I am a living testimony. My husband didn't have to lie to me that he had money. He didn't, and he said it. He told me truths about himself, about his origin, about and he trusted God, and God worked on me. God made me, I mean, he worked on my heart to accept him as he was.
Yes.
So trust in God, and also it also depends on who you are wooing.
Yes.
If somebody makes you feel
you have to
the need to not be yourself, Murife? Because until when will you not be yourself? And if you lie that much in dating, kitu will come to lick you.
Yeah.
Kitu will come to lick you.
Surely the mask will fall off.
Yes, it will fall off.
Yeah.
If it's the money, how long will you lie that you have money and you don't? Just say the truth, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So if somebody makes you feel that you constantly need to be someone you are not, run.
Wow.
Yes.
What is that particular red flag also you want us to address even before I ask you this question?
There's a red flag called he's too secretive.
Oh my.
Like I've had those questions with singles of I feel like I don't know him. We've been on dates. Me, I've told him about my upbringing. He knows even my relationship history. But I can't seem to penetrate his mind and get into his life. There is a certain mystical aura. And I know mystery is attractive.
Yeah.
But sasa, considering we are going to marry, we have to forgo the attractiveness of mystery and know who we are getting married to. Like, yeah, mystery is attractive those first days. You know, when you just... You're looking at that guy and you're thinking, and then you feel like you don't know them and you want to know them, and then that chemistry, that feeling is very good. But then now you're in a relationship, you're thinking, is this the one? But you don't know him. You've been going out for dates. He just tells you, I was born and brought up in Kisumu. I was, okay, now that makes me sound like I'm attacking a particular... No, I grew up in Muranga. My mother lives in Kawangware. But... beyond that, you feel like you don't know how he was brought up. And if you remember, one of the topics we tackled here was personal healing.
Yes.
And for us to even collaborate in our healing, even as we take up the personal responsibility of healing, it takes for me to know the things you've been through. And if I feel like I don't know you, then we'll get into the marriage and there are ways that you're behaving and I can't connect them with anything in your life. So I can't help. I can't understand, you know?
Yeah.
And when you hear sometimes people being told, understand.
Yes.
Muelewe. Aki, it's easier to understand somebody from a point of knowledge. If I know, you know?
Yes.
There are things I have come to understand with my husband, but it has just taken me to join the dots, to be open to the fact that, oh yeah, he could be doing this because of, but they hana ubaya na mimi. And then I give him the space,
yes,
you know, if it's healing, if it's just the space to be him. Sometimes it's just the space to let it out, you know.
Yes.
But I can't do that if I don't know him. You know, I'll always struggle with how he's acting if I have no idea where it could be coming from. So, my girl, if the mystery has gone to a place where you feel you're getting married to somebody you do not know, Murife, run.
And it's so funny that some ladies, even they don't know where their man is working.
Let me tell you, I didn't even want to get there because I will talk badly. Like, yeah, and you've heard those stories.
Yeah,
Israel.
because the guy is spoiling you, he's taking you to dates. You know, the other day I had a conversation of this lady who actually, on the flip side, the man was lying, you know, but the man was working in a mortuary. So it was very awkward that this lady found out only during marriage, and it was very, very awkward because she found out that this guy has been doing some nasty stuff, and that is actually where he's actually getting even money, because, you know, it's a very weird story. I don't want to talk about it on air, but it is very, very awkward that it even caused this lady, you know what, I'm going to call it quits, because I cannot stand this, you know. So the man was secretive because, of course, Najua, you want to look good, you don't want to tell you what I'm doing, you know, from where you know, from where I'm coming from, I can imagine that sometimes we don't want to display that because we are trying to look cool, we're trying not to, but being secretive is very, very important for us to address that. You're not supposed to be secretive, you're supposed to be open.
Yes.
And even for the Christian brothers, you know, there's something I've always considered. You know, namuuliza what do you do for a living?
Exactly.
I live for Christ. By the grace of God, I pay. Which grace?
Nimekwambia uko na mistari mbaya leo. What do you do for a living? I live for Christ. Christ comes down from heaven and gives you money to take me out on a date. No. This money comes from somewhere. Yeah. By the way, if you allow someone to be very secretive, you may also be breeding the lie thing, yeah? You may also be facilitating lying. So it's not too intrusive to demand to know your person.
Yeah.
And don't give me that introvert nonsense.
Yes. Yes, ati mimi nakwanga tu introvert.
Ati mimi nakwanga introvert guy. Tulitoka hapo kwenye we look at personalities on the surface. Bidhi tumesoma.
Yeah.
Imagine nowadays we are thumbed and we know what being introverted means. And we know that once you trust me, you can open up. I know introverts who talk. So being an introvert does not mean you don't talk.
Yeah.
It's just the way that we attach, how long it takes us to trust people and to open up. We don't just easily make friends at parties. But once you trust me, you can talk. So being an introvert needs to stop to be excuse. I don't want to talk badly on gospel airwaves.
Yeah.
It needs to stop to be a bad excuse to hinder communication or to be secretive or to be a liar. And a liar I'm talking about in the sense of withholding information. Sometimes the fact that you are intentionally withholding information, honestly, hata wewe kwa yako unajua, you're trying to display what is not the reality. You're lying.
Yeah.
So don't say I didn't lie, I just withheld information to be bofal.
Yeah. I'm talking about that because someone just texting here. This is a question I'm going through up to you. Mr. Kagere, it's been 2.5 years now, but I don't know where my man lives. Jameni, he's born again, Macu. Is there something that he's afraid of?
Yes, he is definitely afraid of something. A kid could be as bad as he has a wife and children.
Where?
Yes. Let me just scare you. How do you not know where he lives? Why? I would love to hear the story. What happens when you ask him where he lives? What happens? And girls, we need to be bold enough.
Yes.
To not be too desperate that we cannot express what our standards are. If I am going to be in this relationship with you for another year because we want to get married, I need some openness. I need to know where you live. I am a Christian girl at Asikatai, and I am born again, and I will do anything to avoid fornication. Therefore, the day I come to your house, I will come with my friend, or feel free to invite the friend that you will like, but let me come and just know where you live, because surely. And then you imagine the kind of things you might find out later. Yeah, because why doesn't he? Just the simple question of why should raise so much doubt that Murife ran. Yeah.
Maybe the guy told you that he's he's living in a 2-bedroom. Only to find out that ako kwa single room somewhere.
Which is okay. The single room is not the problem.
The problem is lying.
Yeah, the problem is that you're lying.
Yeah.
The problem is that either you're not a confident enough man, and that is not what I want in my life.
Yeah.
I want somebody who doesn't have the money, but they believe in themselves.
Yes.
So they know I'm in a single house now, but girl, I have a vision.
True.
But then unajua vision, hapo ndio we cannot catch you guys. We can't say you lied. That one day you will build for me a Yeah, that one you didn't lie. It was just a vision. That one we will forgive. But the current state, you're living in a single house somewhere. You're telling me you live in a 2-bedroom house in Kileleshwa or Kilimani. Use your vision. Don't tell me you are speaking by faith. The day Kachi tell me that I was speaking by faith, hapana. Mimi sio mchinga. No, it was okay to speak the reality, and then we speak together by faith that we will live in a 2-bedroom house in Kilimani. Ingekuwa tu sawa. I would not have felt that, because sometimes it may be, and by the way, for a man, just to mention, it's a red flag if you're marrying a tick or a daughter and not a woman.
Wow.
Yeah. Because that's somebody who's constantly asking for money from you. They want to see you as this rich guy and not really who you are.
Yeah.
And that's dangerous, because you will either lie or struggle all your life.
Yes.
So that's if that's the reason you're lying, you're the one that needs to run before she runs. But then if I am not that type of a girl, I will feel offended the day I find out that that's the type of girl you think I am. Why do you think that I need to be lied to?
Yes.
Then for you view things differently. Clearly, we just don't see the world the same way. Because me, I see it as okay being in a single room, but then clearly you see it differently, and therefore you imagine me to be somebody different, and I don't think our mindsets kidogo ziko apart kiasi.
Yeah.
Na zinaweza kosa ku-align.
Yeah. Amazing. Wow. And talking about someone to know your home and everything, but there is this aspect, and I want us just to address it, because we are not ashamed. We are Christians here. So there is this aspect of red flag in terms of this guy is sexually impure.
Bas.
And what I mean is that the guy is saying that it's okay to compromise. And even is pressuring you, like, we should do this thing. Like, as in, after all, I'm going to marry you anyway. So what's actually hakuna kitu mbaya, we can even go and do this thing together.
Yeah.
So on this particular aspect comes, and sometimes they have intentions, and they say that are going to marry you.
Yeah.
But what happens when this happens? Like, as in, when now these guys sexually is pressuring to, is this a red flag, or someone who is just is led by the flesh? Maybe you need to pray for him.
I didn't see that last part come. Well, you're trying to put on an innocent face. No, you don't need to pray for him. No, it's okay to pray for him, but don't pray for him while in bed with him. Yeah, pray for him while away.
Yeah,
that one is not even. The red flag is the misalignment of values. That's actually the red flag in that situation.
Yeah,
the fact that this is what I believe, and for me, this issue of sex before marriage is there's no two ways about it. There's no compromise. But then for you can compromise, and we've tried to talk about it, and you insist on the compromise.
Yeah,
there's a red flag there. Because maybe this one has come up because this one, unajua mwili pia, the body is taking him quickly.
True.
But then this could be an indication of total misalignment of values. What I believe in versus what you believe in. It could be this is the kind of person who is comfortable manipulating or what. Yeah, the Bible. Is that the kind of Christian life you live? So the misalignment of that kind of misalignment of values is a red flag either way. Totally. Yeah.
Amazing. And talking about the same thing, there is, we are Christians, and it's very important for us to address this. This guy who is is addicted maybe to pornography and maybe to masturbation, so he's supposed to come out and be vulnerable to your spouse, or you just keep this struggle until you overcome it. So is this a red flag when you notice that your guy is actually struggling with these things?
It's not the noticing. In fact, you're coming to how I was going to conclude this when time is up.
Yes.
Is it almost up?
Yes.
Yeah. And I was going to come to the point where, again, let us not red flag so much that we are left without people to marry.
Well, I love that.
Yeah, because again, you might spot red flags all over. Those ones we were saying after listening to a certain therapist online.
Yeah.
Every date you go with a certain not working. The way he spoke,
red flag.
the way he held his fork, that one is a serial liar. That's not how we are supposed to do it, because again, you are imperfect also.
Yes.
Even as Christians, the Bible says that if we claim to not be sinners, then we are making God out to be a liar.
Yes.
So what we are trying to do is not get married to angels. No. We are getting married to born again men, but who are born again. To be born again is not to be sinless.
Yes.
To be born again is to know this is what I believe in. Because there is a whole difference between the guy who struggles, even with fornication, the guy who tries to get you, for example, to have sex, but it was the circumstances. It was pure temptation. You get? You guys got into a room. Our best man used to tell us, avoid this combination. You're alone. There's darkness.
Yes.
There's music. Recipe for fornication.
True.
That one, it is a recipe. Now, when we are married, we know it is a recipe for good things. And it is allowed.
Yes, yes, it
God
is
bless
allowed.
his soul. He passed on.
Yeah.
But so there's a difference between maybe you guys got yourself into that situation, and especially for the man, usually it's harder.
Yeah.
Because men, this thing, it's a switch. Bio. So he might struggle in that moment, but how does he view it? After that, does he regret it? Does he say, I should not even have touched you? I should not even have tried that.
Yeah.
That is wrong. It is a sin. We need to make sure we don't find ourselves in that situation again. Then that is not a red flag.
Yeah.
No. Then there's a difference between that one and the one you are talking about. The one who says, no, it's okay. See, we are going to marry anyway,
Yeah.
And that's the same thing with masturbation. You understand it might not be the easiest thing to come forward with.
Yeah.
As a man especially, it is a weak point that you do not want to be vulnerable about.
Yeah.
And then it's not the relationship it's lasting. And then you leave every relationship knowing that one more person knows. And not just one more person, one more girl knows. And that is why even in all of this openness, ask God to give you the wisdom to give it in the right doses. Don't be the pharmacist who gives Panadol and says, take them all today so they cure your pain for the next 5 days. No. Give a good prescription, or rather follow a good prescription. Ask God to give you the prescription for releasing the doses of truth, so that again you don't become vulnerable with every Tom, Dick and Harry, and the relationship was not going anywhere.
Yeah.
And you are left feeling intruded, feeling used, and so on. But yes, you are not going to get into a marriage and you're struggling with masturbation or pornography and your girl doesn't know it.
Yeah.
No. Masturbation and pornography are a big deal. They are not your walk-in, walk-out thing. The fact that you're struggling with it then tells you that it's a struggle. Why are you trying to hide it, and yet it will rear its ugly head?
Yeah.
Let me deal with the truth. But then the truth is also that it's a struggle. So the truth is also that, not that it makes me happy, not that I don't feel bad when I know that you masturbate, but I also know that we are working on that. And therefore, it's something we can work on. There's a difference between that and this other person who masturbates, but they do so willingly, and the day you catch them, they will jump from here to Timbuktu, or they will try to argue it out and say it's nothing, and you cannot agree. Again, there will be a misalignment of values. Maybe for you believe it is a sin. For you have even studied and you have seen how it will affect your sex life in marriage, how it will affect your intimacy, but then hataki kusikia hizo zote. Akimurife, now they are run.
Yeah. They are run. And someone is asking, I'm like, my friend, kwani ujui hizi story?
Anaulizaje?
Ati doing sex before marriage is red flag, Madam Muitirir. And I think we have addressed this.
No, doing sex before marriage is a sin.
Is a sin. Yeah. It is called fornication.
Wacha hiyo tujibu hivyo. Inaitwa fornication.
Inaitwa fornication.
Bible.
Yeah. And let's just address this one last question because of time. Should you continue dating someone who may not be as dedicated to God as you, hoping that they will change in the future?
I'm not sure what dedicated to God as you means.
Maybe serving, or maybe?
We need to be clear about what you want as a Christian. With regards to, first of all, is this person born again? So if by being at a different level of being dedicated to God, you mean they're not born again, just do yourself good.
Yeah.
Achana achana na sisemi ni hivyo. He might go get born again, find you're still single. You never know. But for now, no, don't. The Bible is very clear. Do not yoke yourself with an unbeliever.
Yeah.
While the women are being told that they might change their men with their good deeds, why do you want to go inside and struggle and you didn't need to?
Yeah.
You are not married. So you could just have gotten yourself a person who you don't need to go and try to change with your good deeds,
Yeah.
Yeah, the saving is for Jesus. Please, kama tulivyosema hapo awali, your saving power is 0. So if that guy is not saved, please, you cannot save him. And once you get emotionally entangled, power goes to negative, not even 0. So no, don't yoke yourself with an unbeliever. Secondly, this person may be born again, but this level of commitment to Christ, there's a difference between ministry and what I really believe in. So there are people who may not be in as many ministries as you, but mkika mkiongea, you truly agree on the things of God. Ministry is something else altogether, and sometimes we confuse dedication to God with dedication to the church or the pastor or the choir. Sometimes you may get married to someone, and we've seen those mistakes because they were a choir leader. Kumbe uko ndani, their salvation is like this. It is wobbling. Salvation yake imeshikiliwa na pulpit. If that pulpit is broken, he is done, or she is done. So just try to have enough conversation to find out whether he's quote unquote not too dedicated to Christ as you are, is something about his belief in God. Are there things he's hiding? Are there things is he not confidently following Christ? Yeah.
Wow, amazing. And I think we're going to put a pause on that. We're going to continue this conversation next week.
We added time, it was still not enough.
Yeah, it was still not enough. That tells you that, what? We need like 2 hours.
It will not be enough, Israel. Usiniite mimi hapa saa moja. It will still not be enough.
Anyways, thank you so much, Anne, for coming.
Always a pleasure. A pleasure. But truly, I really, really wish we had more time.
So how can guys get in touch with you, even as you conclude?
I am Ann Muitirir on Facebook, on TikTok. I am Ann Muitirir. Also, please find Shispak. That's where we put all our announcements for the ladies.
96.9 FM, Pearl Radio.